How's everyone doing today? It's been great. I was totally late to the podcast here, and everyone was trying to call me, and they were freaking out, and I had some stuff come up. I had to take care of that, and I guess everyone just cares about me that much.
I was crying. I was so scared you weren't going to make it.
But you should mention...
You sound a lot better this week, by the way.
You should mention that you were watching TV not long before the podcast, so I pictured you just, like, on the couch, like, probably with, like, a blanket, you know...
Just like eating some chips and rubbing my dick.
and just ignoring, and then we started calling you, and I pictured you just like ignoring the call and like just being so determined to finish an episode.
Yeah, no, I've been on an Office binge like crazy for the last few weeks, and I'm trying to get through that. So I was finishing that, and then I had a couple things come up really quick that I had to take care of. So yeah, my day's been pretty chill, pretty lax. Didn't really do much. Kind of just laid around, played some Outlast, played some Rocket League. I need to get something else for the gameplay this week because I've been playing a lot of Rocket League lately, and I'm not going to make people watch another hour of Rocket League footage, so I promise I'll have something different. What'd you guys do today?
I worked a lot.
Boy, that's fun.
No, it was fun. I like my work.
That's good.
I got a lot of footage for Smash Compare. I finished a ROM hack up. It's going to be an upcoming video, and that's pretty much my day. It took forever to do all that, but, yeah.
Cool. What'd you do, Pie Guy?
Oh, just working, mostly.
Oh, by the way, guys, we have a guest called Pie Guy Rules that I haven't actually introduced or said anything about yet, so...
Yeah, I didn't want to talk because it, you know...
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, it's
so
Pie
rude.
Guy.
You're blowing it, Jacob.
Actually, before we started recording, he called us out on treating him like shit, but we probably treated Gamer from Mars like royalty.
Well, that was one of my exact words, but sure.
So yeah, actually, for the people who don't know who you are, why don't you give them the rundown on what you do on your channel?
Hey guys, I review cartoons mostly, talk about topics related to that, SpongeBob, Steven Universe, just stuff like that, basically.
Cool. All right. And as you all know, we have our Loverboy indie developer here, Mr. Scott Lee.
Hello.
Is that all you have to say, or?
You want me to talk about my day?
Yeah, why not?
Why
not? We have like hardly any topics for this week, so why not?
It wasn't fun. I went to a kid's birthday party.
Oh God.
Yeah. I ate pizza. I had cake. That was probably like the highlight of it, I guess. And I didn't have to pay for it.
This sounds like a really depressing ass movie about a lonely game developer.
I'll pass to the next person, whoever wants to go.
Where was your birthday party at? Was that Chuck E. Cheese or place like that?
No, it was at what's it called? One of those like places where they have like the inflatables and like do you have those where you live? Like it's kind of like back in the day we had like Discovery Zone and stuff like that, but
yeah, we have places like that. I was hoping it wasn't going to be like an old like dilapidated hole in the wall Pizza Hut or something.
Oh yeah, that's
all the workers want to kill themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then they always have arcade games at those places that are like 30 years old.
Yeah, the arcade games like barely work. Like Mrs. Pac-Man looks like she's on crack and just runs through the walls, and you're like, oh, this is great and terrifying.
I actually saw I don't know if you know what Hydro Thunder is, but I used to be really amazing at Hydro Thunder.
Hydro Thunder!
And I was super awesome at that game back in the day, and they had one of those at this place, so
they had
rad. Some really ancient arcade games there.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Hydro Thunder. Pretty much any arcade racing game I'm so down to play. If we want to keep talking about our days, I don't care, but we just don't have a lot to talk about this week, so we can lead into whatever you guys want to talk about.
Well, you could at least lay out the topics, Jacob. I mean,
I am the host.
We're going to be doing a Wii U retrospective for those listening. We'll be talking about the life cycle of the Wii U and all of our fondest memories.
So yeah, let's get started. Let's just start with the Wii U. Let's talk about this for a while. So as we all know, the NX is going to be announced any day. At least I'm hoping, crawling in my fetal position in my corner. So we just thought we'd have a little retrospective on things we liked about the console, things we don't like about the console. My phone just fell out of my pocket.
What was everyone's first game for the Wii U?
Oh man.
Like, what was the first game, not including Nintendo Land, because that's kind of the demo.
Mine was Epic Mickey 2, unfortunately. That was the worst goddamn port I've ever had in my life. So that was not a good a send-off or a send-on, I guess, for the console. Just Jesus. Like, oh, that game was awful on the Wii U. The fact that there was no Wii Remote support either was the biggest joke, like, in the world, and the Wii version was probably the best version out of any of the console versions. So that was depressing, and the game ran like dickhole, so that also sucked. That was mine.
Mine was Mario 3D World, actually. But I came into the Wii U kind of late because I felt so disappointed in the Wii, strangely enough. And then, honestly, when I first played both Nintendo Land and Mario 3D World, I had a little bit of my faith restored in Nintendo. It sounds weird, but I mean, I really couldn't stand the Wii, so.
Yeah, me either. What were your guys' first two games? Because I know Nathaniel, I think you had one at launch, didn't you?
I had one like 6 months after launch. Like, I bought it right
So-
before the price drop, which really sucks.
Am I actually the only person here who had one at launch?
I believe I had one at launch, if not within
Oh.
the first 2 or 3
Cool.
months.
Cool.
What was your first game, Pie Guy?
I'm trying to think. Probably New Super Mario Bros. U.
Yeah, same here, actually.
I mean, I'm looking at a list right now, and yeah. Oh wow, I forgot. Like Mass Effect 3 was released on the system. Stuff like that gets very.
We all forgot. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, it was definitely the lame answer of Mario.
Yep.
Actually,
2D
mine was
Mario.
technically Epic Mickey 2, but I pretty much played that and I played that and New Super Mario Brothers U interchangeably. I mean, I only played the first couple hours of Epic Mickey because, God, I wanted to shoot my eyeballs out. Unfortunately, like Epic Mickey was one of my favorite Wii games, and I ended up finally buying Epic Mickey 2 for it and played a little bit of it. I still never actually beat it. That Wii U version just left a sour, dilapidated, nasty taste in my mouth. And but yeah, New Super Mario Bros. U, fantastic game. It honestly doesn't get a lot of credit, and it gets kind of a lot of shit because it's just part of the New Super Mario Bros. Series, which I get that, I guess, but it's unfortunate because those are all really good games. It's just part of the Mario staleness. So yeah.
It's a victim of circumstance. Because if it
Yeah.
had come out, if it was coming out now, I mean, assuming Mario Maker wasn't a thing, if it was coming out now, it would probably get a lot more praise. Because as a game itself, there's pretty much nothing at all wrong with it. It's just that
No.
was a clout of New Super Mario.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
New Super
really
Mario Bros.
unfortunate.
The 3DS New Super Mario Bros. 2, that game came out the same year. Like, I actually remember finishing New Super Mario Bros. 2, and then like 2 weeks later, I popped the New Super Mario Bros. U, and I'm like, what? I'm playing the exact same thing. Why did I just pay $400 for this?
Yeah, it's so unfortunate
it was
because
bad
all four
timing.
games are good games.
Yeah.
It's just like the only two that are essential to like play is the original New Super Mario Brothers on the DS and then New Super Mario Brothers U. Like those two games are fantastic and I love them to death. It's just unfortunately like I'm just so bored. I'm so bored of them.
Yeah, you know, actually, like 2 months after I got my Wii U, I didn't play it for like a whole year because I got Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed and New Super Mario Bros. U, and I didn't play it again until Mario 3D World came out, or Mario Kart 8, I think. When that came out, I touched
Wow.
it again. But yeah, like I had nothing I wanted to play on it for a while.
Wow. I actually believe it or not, I mean, I'm with all the shit that I've given the Wii U over the like last few years, I know I've had my fair share of things I've said about it. And one of them I would always talk about you know, game droughts and stuff like that. But you know, on the flip side of that, I'm actually not too upset about that because it got me to try a lot of things that I wouldn't normally have tried. I mean, it got me I finally know like who Shin and Multimedia is. I'm always trying their games out. I started playing a lot of Way Forward games because of that. I mean, I was really into Mighty Switch Force HD. I loved Nano Assault Neo. There's a ton of indie games that I really got into, and I'm kind of happy I did for that. Like, I just now got a PS4 not too long ago, so really I only had a Wii U, and I had a PS3, so I'd play some stuff on there, but as far as current consoles go, I only had the Wii U, so I had a lot of downtime to really explore newer franchises. I mean, I got into Shantae recently, so that's pretty cool. So I actually, as weird as it is, one of the Wii U's major weaknesses actually kind of was a strength to me because I explored a lot of new gaming franchises.
Mm-hmm.
I still have stuff that I want to buy for the Wii U. Like, I still have games that I haven't caught up on. I know people talk about how that console has a small catalog, but for somebody like myself who's always so ridiculously busy, it is actually kind of difficult to cover all the ground for that console at this point. But yeah, I think for me the best game was Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe for everybody, I don't know.
Splatoon.
I know like these two guys, you guys play a lot of Splatoon together. Me, definitely Mario Kart 8. It didn't really do a ton of stuff to revolutionize the franchise, but it had a couple little quirks, and it really polished the gameplay. Easily one of my favorite Mario Karts, alongside Mario Kart DS for sure. Actually had a robust online community for the most part. Yeah, other than that, like, I can't... If Hyrule Warriors Legends didn't exist, then Hyrule Warriors obviously would be my shoo-in for number one. But since Hyrule Warriors Legends is just, like, a much better game than Hyrule Warriors, I have to put that on the 3DS game list. Anyone else have anything to say? It's okay. There we go.
So I have
Pie Guy's recording shut out, so hey.
Hey, yeah, sorry. I have a pretty good early Wii U memory. So I was one of those people that for the longest time didn't have much but like a Nintendo console. At one point I cracked and got a 360. But I didn't get a lot of games for that and stuff. So my point being that I missed out on a lot of like AAA franchises and a lot of like stuff that didn't come to Nintendo systems. But Batman Arkham City came out on the Wii U with all of the DLC that had been released for other consoles and stuff. Armored Edition it was called, and that was one I think I had about at launch, and I had a lot of fun with that. I'm sure like people who have played it on multiple versions would probably say like, oh, it's Wii U so it's inferior or something, but I don't have anything to compare it to. But what I played of it, I loved it. I played like literally 100% of it with all the
Good God.
Riddler stuff. Yeah.
You did all the Riddler stuff? My God.
There wasn't much
What's
to play on the
wrong
Wii
with
U. There was exactly two Riddler things I couldn't figure out and I had to look up. But outside of that, I loved that game. I just had so much fun swinging around.
Oh, it's a fantastic game. Like, I played those games on the PS3,
Mm-hmm.
Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. So whenever the Wii U version came out, I was like, I'm gonna wait on that because I had other stuff to play at the time. I wasn't too worried about it. But I picked that game up eventually for like $10 at GameStop, I think. And my God, that was a good port. I don't know why anyone complained about it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I like I said, I had a lot of fun. It's just people are snobby when it comes to that sort of thing sometimes, and I know that some of the other ports to the Wii U were not very good.
Like Mass Effect 3. Actually, I don't think it was too bad. It was just really pointless.
Wasn't there a Call of... Well, yeah, because you couldn't play the first two for a while. Then
Exactly, yeah.
Did they release the trilogy on the Wii U? I don't even know.
I don't think they did. It was
like-
so weird. They had all these third parties, but it was like sequels to games. You couldn't play the originals on the
We
console.
lost Nathaniel.
Uh-oh.
Did we? It still says he's
Bye.
on the group call.
Bye, Nathaniel. Maybe I just can't hear him. Can
No,
you guys?
I can't.
I can't hear him.
Oh, we lost him. Okay, well, we'll wait till he comes back on.
It says
His
he's
internet's
there.
His internet's been wonky. Yeah, it does say he's there. It's weird. Oh,
Huh.
He claimed an Ethernet cable would solve all of his problems,
and they didn't.
and they didn't.
It's probably because he didn't have that space router hooked up. That's probably what
That's
it
right.
was.
Uh-oh. Nate, you were saying something about the Mass Effect and the other Wii U
Oh,
ports.
yeah. Well, like I remember when Nintendo was announcing all their third-party ports for launch, and I was just thinking, well, a lot of these games are sequels. Why would someone want to buy the sequel if they've never played the originals before? If they have played the originals, why would they go out and buy a console to buy a sequel? So, I mean, I know there's not much they could have done about that, but I do wish that Nintendo was kind of trying to offer like trilogy packs of some of those games to help sell the console better.
Yeah, I mean, I think their heart was in the right place. It's just Nintendo being Nintendo. It's
Well, there
the,
there
kind
was
of the only
also
explanation.
there was also a Call of Duty that was released, and I don't know about like port wise, but the biggest problem was that hey, no one was online, which I don't really
Yeah.
know what Nintendo could have done about that. But I mean, it's almost like a weird thing because it's like everyone's like, oh well, Nintendo should compete, Nintendo should get this stuff in here, but it's like you put something like COD on there, and it's like, well, no one's gonna play it. Like people who don't have other systems might, but that's about it. And a game like that absolutely needs the online component, and there's nothing Nintendo can do outside of like giving away the game for free or something that's gonna spark up an online community for something like that when there already exists a different one. So it just kind of sucks that Nintendo was late to the game and just will never, unfortunately, will never have the reputation for that, and it will never be able to do Call of Duty,
I
or
mean,
stuff like that.
the only way they could do Call of Duty is if they decided that, like Rocket League, you could play with people online throughout all platforms. I think that's the only way that they could catch up with the
But
others.
Yeah.
But the other consoles would have to agree to that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and Sony's kind of iffy on that. I know Microsoft's been pretty open about all that stuff lately, because they're trying to save any face that they can. And from the Xbox One reveal, they're still suffering from that. So I know that they've been really open about that kind of thing, but Sony's been kind of closed off. I don't know really why. Maybe because they just don't think they need to, which, oh well.
I think
the main
Microsoft.
thing.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say the main thing I think Nintendo needs to do is just keep pushing for third parties, and maybe a couple generations down the road, hey, they may have that audience. I think it's just going to take word of mouth because for so long they didn't have that, not even close to that.
I think they just need to. I think they just need to open it up completely. Like the big problem they have with third parties is well, they have a couple problems, right? Like one is peripherals and the fact that like now they kind of they screwed themselves over with the Wii by introducing the remote. Now they've introduced right after the remote, they introduced the gamepad, and then they got controllers, and then you can also do GameCube controllers and all this stuff. So the peripherals created like a huge obstacle for third parties. But the other thing is that because they had that old-fashioned perspective on like family-friendly content and that sort of thing, and probably making devs jump through all these hoops to release their content, like that's the big issue. It ought to be like 100% open if they want everyone to come back, and it kind of is like that for indies, but like indies will jump through the hoops because they have to because they're indies, but like for the major publishers, they need to have total freedom as well.
I feel like we did see one thing I actually did really like about the Wii U is I feel like we saw Nintendo really push for trying to break that kiddie image, because we saw things like Bayonetta 2, we saw Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I don't know about you guys, but I felt Nintendo was a little more mature themed this generation, especially with Smash.
Yeah. I can't speak too much to the Wii U on that, but on the 3DS, you see a lot more like M-rated stuff. Recently, there was.
Oh yeah, especially with the 3DS.
Ace Attorney, I think it's still rated M. Stuff like that. Like they, I don't really know what much they're doing in terms of gating it, because you think Nintendo would be very like protective, but yeah, no, a lot of that stuff is just on the eShop now, which is good that they're like just whatever. Because I mean, if parents don't care and kids want the stuff anyway, like just take the money, right?
I think they're just trying to throw people a bone. I think that's all those like. We're able to name, I think, like a small number of titles, but I think it's kind of just them being like, all right, everyone in the like previous generation kind of complained about this direction. Let's throw them a few. But I don't know. I don't think it's that serious as far as because if it were, I think that they would have made the right decisions to begin with, and the shelves in stores would look very similar to PS4 and Xbox One, and you would see all those drab gray monochrome game title covers, which that's kind of a different topic altogether, but you would see like all of that, like Modern Warfare, Lara Croft, blah 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 blah. Like you'd see all of it if they had.
The best
made
part
those
about modern
decisions.
game covers is they always just show a big burly man with a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Uncharted 4, Doom. What else? The Call of Duty covers recently have been like they all look the same, the damn same. I'm sick of it.
And they're always so desaturated, where like there's very little
really.
color, and then it's usually like approaching monochrome, where it's like a really ugly like brown or a gray. And then so it's funny when you go into stores and then you walk over into the Nintendo aisle and you're just blasted with color.
It's lots of color, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know that I would say, especially in the 7th generation, it was even more like that, but I am happy we're finally seeing a lot of third-party devs, even on, the PS4 and the Xbox One, start to actually consider the fact that maybe the world has more than brown and gray in it, which that's nice, because we're seeing, like, Watch Dogs 2, much more colorful. I'm almost oversaturated where it actually hurts my eyes watching the trailer. Then we have, Sunset Overdrive, very colorful game. Trackmania Turbo was blasted with color. I mean, it was everywhere too. So we are seeing a switch in mentality, which is nice, especially with HDR and things like that coming out. It's making games look a lot more heavy or heavily saturated. There's more contrast and colors. It looks nicer. So that's exciting to see. But Nintendo, like, I totally get it, especially with game covers. Nintendo is still top dog and making you feel like, wow, the world isn't grim and dark and gritty.
Yeah, and really, like, the whole culture of publishers that are marketing to adults, I think they need to change how they look at the visual aesthetic of their games. I don't think that, like, just because you use color, that shouldn't automatically mean you're marketing to kids. But I kind of feel like that's how it is these days.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I mean, kids are more attracted to colors, generally.
I feel like it's like the ironic opposite, where like all the tweens want the super edgy, like dark games. They want to get away from that, and I feel like a lot of games are marketed specifically towards that like teenager.
Yeah, like the monster drinking, estrogen and testosterone filled games.
That was basically me in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, that was all of us. Man, I used to
Rock
sit and listen to
Band,
my
drank
Attack and
Monster.
play Call of Duty like a huge doucher. We all did it.
Rock Band is all color. What are you talking about, Nathaniel?
It's like the game itself. Like I was just playing
the
all this like
lyrics were
heavy metal
edgy.
music,
Oh, yeah.
all sorts of
Oh
stuff.
God!
I actually got really
Just
good at drums.
picturing you with Edge is hilarious to me.
Oh man.
No, dude, I've changed so much in like 6 years. I was a completely different person back then.
Were you an emo kid?
No, I was not emo.
Oh God, you got really offended. I was just asking.
I'm not allowed to have emphasis. Is that what you're saying? I'll just talk
No.
like this the rest of the time.
You're not allowed to act like your titles say you act.
The tone kind of, I don't know, I felt like he kind of like considered it for a second. Like, was I emo? And then he was like, no, I was not.
No, I was
wear
gonna
black
go on
shirts
and
with
say
chains
something
and
else. but
chokers.
No, I was not emo.
That's upsetting.
To
So-
maybe bring it back. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
To maybe bring it back around, do you guys have any good memories with like indie games on?
Maybe
Wii?
bring it back on topic, you lunatics.
I mean, it started out as a Wii U retrospective, and then it was like, what were the first games you played, and then. I don't know.
How many chains did you wear in high school? Yeah. No. Sorry. What did you ask?
How edgy
games.
is Nathaniel Bandy? Is what I asked.
No, that is
No.
not what he asked.
Well, do you have any good
About
memories
10
with
Captain
indie games
Toads
on
out
the
of
Wii
10.
U? Because I have a few that were really shined, especially in the droughts.
Yeah. Why don't you go and talk about those?
One of the cool ones was Cloudberry Kingdom. Any of you guys play that?
I've never heard of that.
No, I
Really?
never did get to that.
have not.
Ubisoft made that, right?
Was it Ubisoft? I guess that's not indie then. Oh,
Well, I mean, it's like in like that's something else that I kind of wanted to very quickly touch on. Ubisoft has been approaching a lot more smaller projects, which is great. I mean, Valiant Hearts: The Great War, fantastic game. Child of Light is also fantastic. I like seeing this mentality, and I'm pretty sure they also made Cloudberry Kingdom.
you are
so
correct, actually.
Now you can talk about that.
Yeah, no, it was an endless platformer, which I know platformer Wii U very, very saturated. You don't need an endless one to entertain yourself on the Wii U. But no, it was very different, very interesting. It was a cheap title. You could play with, I think I think it was one that let you play with like 5 or more people, maybe. I think it was just 5. But really like cool to bring a friend, and just a very simple platformer. And it was procedurally generated is the thing. Just a really cool, interesting game. If it ever goes on sale or anything, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I might check that out sometime. I was really interested when it first came out. Something else came out at the same time, though, so I never actually got around to it. I don't remember what it was, though.
I thought that Diddy Kong Racing 2 was really interesting.
Stop it.
I have a question for you guys in regard to the Wii U, and it's probably been discussed to death, but I'm still interested to talk about it here, which is, was the gamepad a good choice, yes or no?
Nope.
You don't think it was?
Yes and no.
Yes, as a peripheral that you're not required to use. No, as something that you're forced to use to navigate.
In. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to say.
To navigate basic things on the console, no, absolutely not. But things like Super Mario Maker, Fantastic Inclusion, both Zelda remakes use it really well. Batman Arkham City Armored Edition, since we were talking about that, also uses it well. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. All these games, like, they have, like, the gamepad is a great addition to the gameplay. It's just not something that should have been packaged in, and it would have made the console probably at least $100 cheaper if it wasn't packaged in.
I think I agree, and I think you're right about a lot of what you're saying. For me,
but you're wrong as shit.
No. But for me,
for
no, I agree with you. I agree with you completely, and I also think that the timing of it and when they did it was really bad. But what I think is I think that the funny thing about the gamepad is that we're going to look back like years from now, and we're going to kind of like look back on it lovingly and adoringly, because it's going to be like the way that we remembered this generation. And we've already basically said there's a lot of good games that we really liked on the Wii U, and we're going to look back on that and basically say, you know what, I remember why it sucked at the time, but now that I'm thinking about it, like, that is the thing that kind of like formed that time. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's what I'm going to think about it. And I think I was kind of surprised whenever I actually got my hands on it.
How do you guys feel?
Sorry.
There was so much stuttering right there.
Sorry. Knowing what I know now about the Wii U, I think that the gamepad was a terrible idea. But I don't think the gamepad was a bad idea. I just think that, like, Nintendo just didn't do it. Like, you list games that, like, you like the utilization for, and I agree it's cool for maps and stuff, but it's like a cool add-on. Like if they had to use the gamepad, it's cool that what they did with it, but I didn't need that. You know, Splatoon,
yeah, exactly.
There's a map on Splatoon, and you can use it to squid jump to wherever, but, like, you don't need that to play Splatoon. Outside of Mario Maker, I think Mario Maker, outside of Nintendo Land, Mario Maker was the first game to really be like, all right, look, here's something you really do need the gamepad for. And that,
they nailed it out of the park with that game.
But how late was that? You know, how many years?
It was like 3 years after.
Not doing anything. So I think that it's not an inherently flawed idea, but much like, you know, the name of the console and everything, Nintendo just
the name is the worst.
Mismanaged how they handled it. And also, I mean, technically speaking, it's just kind of an extension of what the 3DS did and the 2DS did. It's not an entirely new thing in the way that, like, the Wii was. It's more of an extension on that, except it's a little worse because you have to kind of crane your neck to go from one to the other. It's not like both right there in front of you like with the DS.
And
That's
even
kind of how I felt about,
you know,
like,
even with
both. Oh, sorry, I'll let Nathaniel talk.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you know, you brought up Super Mario Maker. It's interesting, you know. I thought for a while that was like the only game, you know, what you really need a Wii U for, and now they're porting Mario Maker on the 3DS. So what's the point?
Well,
yeah,
I've said this before.
I think we talked about this like a couple weeks ago, but, like, if I knew what I knew about the Wii U now, I honestly wouldn't have bought the system.
Wow.
Because I bought the system. I mean, I bought the system at launch, but I kept the system because of Hyrule Warriors, Yoshi's Woolly World. I was eventually going to get Mario Maker. I played the crap out of it, but I never actually owned it. I mean, there are a few other games I kept it for, but, like, Hyrule Warriors and Yoshi's Woolly World and Smash, those were like the main games that I had it for, well, and Mario Kart. But like we were saying before, you can do all of that on the 3DS. And 3 of those are direct ports to the 3DS. Mario Kart 7 is essentially the same as Mario Kart 8, albeit a few differences.
That is true now. I think that, I've said this before, I think they should have launched the Wii U with Super Mario Maker as the premier launch title. And if they would have done that, they would have knocked it out of the frickin' park. And I'm really disappointed that they didn't. I think that there's so many of the first party games they released, they came out way too late. And like they should have launched with Super Mario Maker, Star Fox Zero,
at the very least, one of the Zelda remakes, if not, obviously not Breath of the Wild, but at least one of the remakes.
Yes, yeah.
Can you guys imagine if they launched with that F-Zero that they were planning on having Criterion make?
Would have been amazing.
And Super Mario Maker and Minecraft with gamepad support.
Would have been great.
They couldn't even get Minecraft with gamepad support on their first try with Minecraft. That had to come in with like a later patch or something, I hear.
Wait, does it actually have it now?
I thought they patched it in.
I think they do. Yeah, I remember when I first tried it because Nintendo gave me the game, and I was like, wait a minute, why can't I just like tap the? It was such a missed opportunity.
Honestly, I honestly feel even if they didn't have Mario Maker or that F-Zero game, honestly, if they launched with Minecraft and New Super Mario Bros. U and Nintendo Land, I still believe that Minecraft with gamepad support would have had a significant impact on their sales because that's the only game that's going to replicate the PC version of it. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I think on the PS4 and the Xbox One versions, I think you can use a mouse, but I honestly don't know. I know you can use Bluetooth mice with the consoles themselves, but I don't know if Minecraft actually supports it.
Jake,
but like if they had that would have been so perfect because I still play Minecraft a lot on my Wii U, but I beg for gamepad support.
I don't think that Minecraft would have made a difference considering that's only made like $1 billion.
I think it's only the second highest selling game of all time. I think. I'm not sure.
$1 billion.
Has it really made $1 billion? Holy crap.
It really has made over $1 billion.
Jesus.
And I don't know. I haven't followed up on this, but I remember they were talking about what the release to the market in China was going to be like, and I can only imagine what kind of money that's going to make.
I love seeing it on top selling lists in Japan every week for the Wii U version.
I'm going to actually Google this right now. I need to know.
We do research here on the Digicast.
Yes, Minecraft sales in China is what I want to know. I'm looking on my Telefono. So it was announced back in May. Minecraft is coming to China. Let me see if there's a date.
So the game has never been released in China, like on any platform.
Sales did surpass 100 million worldwide for Minecraft.
Oh my god!
Let me see.
Jesus.
The last time I checked, it was like 70 million because I think it was tying with Wii Sports or something.
So this is from Mojang's website itself back on May 20th. It said, "Today we're proud to announce an exclusive agreement to license Minecraft for Pocket and PC to a NetEase Incorporated affiliate in mainland China. The plan is to develop a version of Minecraft tailored for the Chinese market. It probably won't affect most of you, seeing as you're probably not based in China. But still, this is significant news, and significant news requires significant quotes. So here are two, one from our CEO and one from Net. I won't read this whole thing, but yeah, basically, it looks like they're working on a big release in China, and I'm telling you that is going to make serious dough. That's going to be crazy. And you guys got to remember that is like when we talk about indie games, Minecraft is an indie game. Most people forget that, but Minecraft is a freaking indie game, dude.
If it puts it in perspective, they paid Notch $2.5 billion for it. Microsoft.
Exactly. That's
right. Like, if you doubt how much it makes, and I mean, don't forget it's the Pocket Edition. Like, so many people buy that, even if they don't really have an interest in playing. People love Minecraft. I was one of those people that was like very into Minecraft. People will buy the Pocket Edition just because it's a few bucks and to try it out. People will buy the 360 version just to see what the differences are. People will buy alternate accounts, multiple accounts, just to have a camera account to be able to film what they're doing. Like, it is so huge, and of course there's.
Bought the pocket edition.
Yeah,
I think the fact that you can buy shirts at Hot Topic reflects how big it is.
I have some of those shirts.
Oh God.
I have
Okay.
a Minecraft pig plushie over there. Like,
There you go.
Oh, man.
There you go. I'm not the biggest fan of Minecraft, but there's just something about the game that just like engulfs me sometimes. I mean, every few months I will find myself just burying my life into it. And I'm not even the biggest fan of it. There's just something so surreal about that game, and I love just feeling completely isolated in a world and having to take care of myself. Like I will play that game on the hardest difficulty, and I will limit myself to just trying to survive because it's one of the only survival games that I actually truly deeply enjoy. But otherwise, like I don't even ever use the creator mode. I remember the only time I've really deeply used the creator mode was like around the time it came, like the very first time it came out on PC back, what was that, 2010, I think. I spent a few hundred hours like rebuilding Ocarina of Time, the entire bit of Hyrule Field and Lon Lon Ranch and Kakariko Village. Like I built that like to scale, and I was done with it, and I just kind of looked back and I'm like, that was fun. Delete.
You didn't
Great
save
story,
it.
Jacob.
I didn't save it. I just
Why?
I don't know why.
Why
Like it was
would
just
you do
it was a
just
fun summer of just building Ocarina of Time, and I'm like, that was fun. All right, I'm gonna go play some sports now and burn off the fat I gained.
What?
huh? My experience
I don't know, man.
with Minecraft, most of my love comes from the fact that and most of the reason why it's successful, I think, it's a very, very, very community oriented game with servers and community maps and stuff, and mods. Oh my gosh, mods are amazing. But
Yeah, there's so many.
and that's the brilliance of it, because Mojang doesn't have to make any of that stuff. It's the people making free content for them that just totally extends the game. I mean, it's fun on its own. I played single player for a while, but like what keeps me coming back and what kept me playing for a long time was just like my friends had a server and I would hang out with them on the server.
I think the best part about it is the subtlety and the mystery of the actual story that's in Minecraft. Like, there's actually quite a few people that don't know that there is a narrative, like, to tell. Like, you're Steve and you have to take out the Ender Dragon. That is a thing you have to do, but most people don't know about that because the game doesn't tell you anything. It's just really interesting to uncover these things for yourself. I remember the first time that I actually went up against, I found out about the Ender World, and I was like, holy shit, like this is a thing. Am I the only one who knows about this? And then I go online and I realize that I'm 2 years late, and I feel like a huge dumbass.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a story until I watched the speedrun of the game. I had no idea.
It's very
What else-
basic,
what
but
else-
it is there.
Well, what else story related would you say about it?
Oh, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like,
Yeah, I
it-
mean,
it is there are three worlds that yet there is, the Nether, there's the Ender, and there's the plains. You go through all that, you survive, and you have to beat the Ender Dragon.
Yep.
Like, I guess to save the plains, like, I don't know.
There's not. I mean, I don't.
It's not really a narrative, but there is
Yeah.
like some continuous string of events that you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
go through. It's
Totally.
not just survival, but
The
it
story
is.
is
That's what I just
told
find interesting
through your
about it
own
because it is
actions.
mysterious.
You
I didn't hear
form
anything that Scott
your
just said.
own path. And through your own path, the story of the Minecraft blocks are formed.
I feel like you're referencing something, but I have no idea what it is.
Are you
actually
reading?
not. Nope.
Oh.
Nope. Nothing. Nope.
No, just doing one of those voices.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
We should talk about Shovel Knight and ukulele.
Oh yeah.
yes, we should.
Oh my god. I shouldn't have said anything.
There's a 3D model of Shovel Knight. Oh my god. I don't just have to coddle my plushie every night before I go to bed now. It's so. Oh my god. Thank you.
So Shovel Knight's in ukulele.
Yeah. He is.
What
We
is he
can
gonna
pretty
do
much
in that
just-
game? Is he gonna be like a co-op character, or do you just like
Oh my
unlock him, or
gosh.
is he a
They
boss?
need to put the Shovel Knight mechanics into ukulele, and it would be amazing.
Yeah, it would. Oh Jesus. I I don't really care like if he actually does anything or not. It's just his yo ho yo ho oh, ho yo ho yo ho. That's the greatest thing ever, and I'm gonna continuously talk to him about that.
If I had to guess, I would probably say he's probably the like he'll probably give you one. Oh, what are the collectibles? What are the jiggies in this game? What are the pages or whatever? He's probably got a quest for you. That would be my guess as to just this whole role. He probably stands there, tells you to go get something, you get it, and you bring it back.
He lets you borrow
he
his shovel,
disappears.
and you have to go digging somewhere to get the thing. That's the quest.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I know that since he's in the game, I'm really gonna dig it. That's bad. I already had my horrible pun earlier from the tweet I made. What the fuck?
What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. That was me finding
That's-
Jacob's humor hilarious.
That's
Oh.
his jizz sound.
What? No, it's not.
I made mine earlier. I thought we all had to make our mating calls.
I'm not making a mating call for you.
My mating call is this voice.
That's terrifying. If you actually ever went up and talked to a woman like that, I would be so creeped out.
Hello, my name is Scott. Would you like to go to dinner with me? Say yes. It's the only right answer.
Those pauses in between were so awkward and perfectly executed, I just couldn't say anything to mess you up.
I was really trying to figure out where I was going with that. That was pretty difficult.
Yeah, so the Wii U.
Do you guys think that this means that Ukulele might show up in some future Shovel Knight DLC or something?
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Even just like a cameo, that'd be sweet.
At this point, anything that like different IPs can do to intermingle and like promote each other that are outside the classic IPs we've known about for decades is going to be a huge positive for everyone.
I like the fact that a Zerstriker Gunbolt has, or Zerstriker Gunbolt 2 has Shovel Knight in it also. That's pretty rad. I'm down for that.
I think they're just trying to put Shovel Knight in as many things as possible so that he'll get into the next Smash Bros.
He's a household name. He's also in Runbow, so that's great.
He's the indie darling.
Yes, he is the indie Mario, or the indie Steve. Oh wait, Steve is indie. Oh shit!
Maybe
my mind is like so melted right now.
Well, maybe they're also doing this because their Spectre Knight DLC isn't coming out till next year, so they're trying to keep them as relevant as possible. Because it's really easy for indie games to lose relevance.
I think it's about time to go to some questions, and unless you guys have much more to say on the Wii U or Minecraft or indie characters or whatever else it is we're talking about.
My closing statement on the Wii U is, even though I've given it a lot of shit, it's not a bad console. I don't really know how to, because I have such a love-hate relationship with this console. It's more or less Nintendo's mentality, I guess, with it, because they took something that had a lot of unique ideas and cool games, and they kind of shoved it all in the 3DS too. Like, I'm trying to imagine the Wii U without having its best games ported over to the 3DS. Like if Mario Maker, Woolly World, Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 7 weren't so similar, if Star Fox Zero and Star Fox 64 weren't so similar, if Smash Brothers wasn't on the 3DS also, if Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D weren't so similar. It's just kind of a shame, really, because it's just kind of more of the same, and it could have had a lot more uniqueness to it. And I'm happy Splatoon has not been ported yet. I want that to stay there.
Ugh, portable Splatoon. No, thank you.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. It's a good console for what it was. Do I actually think that I'm going to play the thing like I do the GameCube or the N64 or the Super Nintendo in 10 years? Probably not, because a lot of the games weren't really exclusive for the system, so I don't have much reason to return to that version specifically. But it wasn't a bad console. It did a lot of cool things, but like we already talked about with the gamepad, it was just a forced concept, and I wish we got a true 3D, or not like a true 3D Zelda, but like its own 3D Zelda instead of two, which were fine remakes, and I wish we got like a true 3D Mario. Those two things, like, to me, define a Nintendo console, and I feel like I didn't get either of those, so that's kind of why I'm just like, okay, it's there.
I agree, and I think that it's kind of messed up that like Breath of the Wild didn't get its like okay, it's gonna get it next year supposedly, but it really should have already been released, and that should have been kind of like the big thing for the Wii U, the way that a lot of people expected.
Yeah. Oh, the 3DS also has Xenoblade Chronicles, and the Wii U has Xenoblade Chronicles X. So it's like, okay,
Yeah,
there's another one. So it's unfortunate because the system does have a lot to offer, but it's also having a lot of its fame stripped away from modern Nintendo, and yeah.
to me that kind of proves like that Nintendo really does understand how they screwed up though. Like the fact that they're porting all of those games over to the DS, it basically just says like, yep, these things didn't need any of this ridiculous like gimmicky nonsense that we call the gamepad. We didn't need any of it. We could have had it done in a completely different way, or many ways the entire time.
You guys have any other final thoughts?
I guess I don't really care about the console itself. Like, I don't have an attachment to, like, the Wii U, partially because it's terrible name and stuff, but, like, all I know is that taking away the fact that a lot of the great games came out later, like there was terrible scheduling, terrible name, terrible use of gamepad and stuff like that, but, like, as far as the games that I played on the system, stuff like Pikmin 3, stuff like Splatoon, definitely, Smash Bros., whether it's available on other consoles or not, I had a lot of fun playing it on the Wii U. So I think that history will probably be a little kinder because people will remember the games and not remember that, oh yeah, it took this long for this stuff to come out, not remember so much that it was also available on the 3DS, not probably, the gamepad and its being underused might even be forgotten a little bit, but, and the lack of games. But the games that were there, most of them I do think are really fun, and I had a lot of fun with it. So.
Agreed. What about you, Nathaniel?
I would say,
Wonderful. Let's just go to some of those damn questions.
Welcome back. And now we go to questions. Nathaniel, I believe you had one.
So the question is from Splatmaster531. What do you think the Krabby Patty secret formula is? Anyone? What do you think it is?
Semen and beef.
Ew.
Anyone's guess is as good as anyone else's. I'll just go with Jacob's as well. I think. I don't know. I mean,
I win by default.
I got nothing else to really suggest. Maybe that combined with a little bit of extra salt, perhaps. I mean,
Mine's salty enough. You don't need that.
Oh my god.
Hey, Pie Guy, you should answer this.
I'd say the answer's love, but Mr. Krabs was making it before SpongeBob, so I don't know how he'd get any of that.
Oh, that coincides with my answer. Don't worry, there's plenty of love in my Krabby Patties.
I'd like to go with the idea. I'd like to go with the thought that it actually is like ground up plankton.
Yeah, I like
we
that
never,
one. That's a good
outside
answer.
of the one episode, we never see any other plankton on the show. So
Man, look at this dude with his fan theories. I'm gonna go with that. That's a good answer.
I think that is probably it probably does have something to do with that. In all seriousness.
Yeah, that would explain the sheer rivalry that crabs and plankton. Oh my God, crabs and plankton have.
We're gonna have to send this theory to MatPat to analyze.
oh no.
On his film theory channel.
That way, everyone believes what it actually is because no one ever questions what godly Lord man Matt Pat says.
SpongeBob is
Well-
sans.
Ah, theory confirmed.
What?
I actually have an interesting question here from Maximilian Briel, I think. I can't even read that. How do you avoid procrastination, which is what I'm doing right now, by the way? That was not me saying that. That was all a question.
I have a weird answer. I love going on Reddit, and Reddit is one of the ways I procrastinate. But recently I came across a Reddit thread that was like a life pro tip request that was, how do you not be lazy, or like how do you motivate yourself to do something? And I just keep that on my phone, and whenever I feel lazy, I look at that and I do something.
That's an interesting. Wow. So you distract yourself with something that tells you to stop distracting yourself.
Well, I just
basically.
like glance at it and I'm like, I don't know, it just gives me motivation to do something.
Interesting. Usually, what I do is basically I'll set like mini goals for myself. So like if I have to pee or something, I tell myself, okay, I gotta do this, and this first before I get to go pee. Just as an example.
That's pretty
Wait.
So you punish yourself.
It's motivating.
You exercise like forced bladder control on yourself.
No. Well, I might hold my bladder for like 20 minutes or something. Like if I'm finishing up a paper or a piece of editing or whatever, like, all right, let me get this done, and then I can pee.
So what happens? What happens if you don't get it done, Nathaniel? Like, what happens?
Oh, I always get it done. I've never not gotten it done.
Is this what you do while we're playing Splatoon? Like, all right, I can't go to the bathroom until I'm A rank, and then you just never went to the bathroom ever.
I have a confession though. I actually do the same thing.
Oh my god.
Really?
I'm not even kidding. Like, I get where he's coming from, because if I have this thing to motivate myself that physically hurts me, then I will do it and get it done.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the way to go.
I get it. Blood brothers, I get you.
I'd give you a high five, but you're really far away.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll drive there now and high five you and come back.
Okay.
I don't have to work tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
You're so lucky
You know what?
you don't have to
You know what
work
else
tomorrow.
helps me beat procrastination and stuff? Honestly, like looking at YouTube. Now that usually doesn't help beat procrastination, but seeing other videos that are similar to mine but made by other people, I like watch them and I'm like, man, I wish I could be that good. And I'm like, wait, if I just like actually work instead of browsing YouTube all day, I can. And then I stop doing that and work.
It's a good motivator. That's kind of how I've been lately. I've been trying to, I'm like scrapping together something I'm going to put out here in a couple months probably, and I've really been trying to motivate myself. As far as procrastination goes, I don't really honestly have anything, because I don't procrastinate on things. I mean, it's creativity or motivation hits me, and I'm like, okay, I'm in it. I'm doing it until it's done. I hate procrastinating. So
Well,
that question didn't really apply to me.
my thing is that, like, I don't want to answer the question with a question, but the first thing to ask is like, well, why are you procrastinating? But the second thing is that I think the best way to avoid it is to get something done. And when you get something done, you'll feel good about the fact you just got something done, and it's that much easier to get into a flow with things. So for me, like, the way I try to, I mean, well, first of all, I'm so like freaking busy with everything I'm doing. I don't have a choice, like, as far as to procrastinate or not. I just have to get something done. Like, especially if you're like an entrepreneurial type, which I would argue, especially like, you know, Nathaniel and Pi certainly are. Probably Jacob as well. But like, when you're trying to start up your own thing, like, if you want to get results, you just don't have a choice. So
you just gotta
leave the
go.
choice
Yeah.
from yourself, and get one, even if it's something small, just get something small done if you can, and then you'll probably feel better about doing the rest of it.
Very good speech.
Mm-hmm.
We also have one more question here that I feel we could answer probably pretty briefly. It says, will you answer my question?
No.
Okay, moving on. Would you rather make love to a goat without anyone ever knowing, or have everyone think you made love to a goat even though you didn't? I would much rather plow that sucker and everyone watch me.
And with that, we have reached the end of the podcast.
Actually, Nathaniel, did you have any more? Did you have any interesting questions? Because we don't really have many.
Yeah, I found. Hold on, I lost it. Let me try to
Let's
find
do
it
one
again.
more.
Do you
One more
like
question.
mudkips?
Do I like? I don't get that joke, so I don't know. I'm guessing it's a inside joke.
Is
or
it a
something.
meme?
Mudkip is a Pokemon.
Well, I mean, I know what mudkip is. I mean, like,
Yeah,
does the question reflect a meme?
It's an old meme. Yeah, sorry. It was from Aiden Slat, and he said, "Sorry, Nathan, I had to." So.
Oh yeah, I don't get it. Oh, here's
I
a
felt like
question.
if he had to, I ought to oblige him. Anyway, move on.
I want to get it for him, but I just don't.
I guess you don't like mudkips.
I don't like mudkips. Like, to be honest, I don't
Oh.
like mudkips.
Oh!
Okay.
That's the only water Pokemon, or the only like water starter I look at and I'm like, God damn, you're weird looking.
Not
I
Poplio?
just can't get behind him. I judge Pokemon based on their physical appearance. I know I'm shallow and horrible, but I just do.
What about Poplio?
Poplio?
I'm not even sure what that is, to be perfectly honest.
Well, don't worry about it then.
Yeah.
Okay, I have
That's
one more
alright.
good question. Coming from Captain JZH, he asks, is there a cartoon you can always watch to cheer yourself up?
Who wants to start?
I mean, you know, I SpongeBob is my obvious answer, but also a series that I can just always easily just marathon through would always be Avatar.
Hopefully not The Last Airbender. Yeah.
Well,
That movie's really bad.
oh, the movie, yeah. Oh my gosh, no, not that.
Yeah. Yeah. Me, I actually have a lot because I just really like cartoons. Tom and Jerry. Shit, what else? I had like 50 in my head. Now I'm just drawing a blank. Oh my god. Tom and Jerry, Bob's Burgers, for sure. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's great. Pretty much any Looney Tunes thing. Why can't I think of any more?
South Park?
Those are all great. Those are my picks.
I'm going to have to say Cory in the House. Best anime?
He said cartoon, not anime. Come on, Nate.
Oh, well, he's also a cartoon. No, actually, I don't want to say SpongeBob because that's like, everyone can cheer up. I guess just show in general. If I want to cheer up, I'll just watch Whose Line Is It Anyway.
Ooh.
That's my pick, even though it's not a cartoon.
The opening sequence is animated. There's like 3 frames.
Yeah, there. That's
know?
right. Yep. The title sequence.
Nate stares at the title sequence to Whose Line. Just makes
Ooh.
him smile every time.
Ha 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 ha! The title sequence so funny.
Do you have any, Scott?
You mentioned Bob's Burgers. I think Bob's Burgers, Bob's Burgers is such a chill show. Like when I want to like veg out on the couch, I'll put on Bob's Burgers.
It is so chill, man.
It's so great.
Perfect. It is perfect for vegging out, which is hilarious because it is about a guy who cooks burgers,
That's
which
right.
are the opposite of anything vegetarian related.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Otherwise, I'm good to go. I think that was a pretty solid show. I think we provided great entertainment, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm going to close out on Ask.fm. That's how serious I am.
Oh snap.
It happened. Well, Nathaniel, where can the lovely people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, NathanielBandy1. I make some weird gaming videos. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Cool. Scott,
Okay.
where can the people find you at? What do you do? 'Cause you do things.
Yeah, I do some stuff. You can find me on Twitter at Scott Lee. If you want to follow the game whenever it comes off hold that I'm developing, you can find that at scottfreecapital.com. If this is your first time listening to the Digicast, please like the video and subscribe.
Yeah, and with that, oh shit, wait, we had Pie Guy here. Forgot.
My God, Jacob.
Don't even worry about it. If you want to find me,
I'm kidding.
everything is Pie Guy Rules. Just search that. I don't need to put a 1 at the end of my name.
Gosh, Jacob.
Yeah, someone already took it. Freaking one.
I'm not number 1, so I don't have to tell people I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell the people what you do again, because they probably forgot. Because they're not as smart as me.
I review cartoons. It's that simple.
Cool. And for the record, for the people who didn't catch my sarcasm, I understand it happens sometimes because I am such a talented actor. I was being sarcastic with him. Anyway, I do other things, like I have movie reviews on the channel that you're watching right now, but you probably already knew that, so that was pointless to say. You can find me at IndieJacob on Twitter, and you can also listen to our podcast called The Digicast, but you're probably already doing that. So, yeah.
Probably. What's the other
with
option?
What's the other podcast they could listen to? And with that, I think we're good. So we'll see you guys next week. Leave all questions that you have over at ask.fm/digicades. or if you want, Nathaniel always sends out a tweet before we start. We record every Sunday. You can catch him there.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. If you guys like Pie Guy, make sure you go check out his stuff and check out Nathaniel's stuff as always. Yeah, I'm good.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Goodbye.